Hello, welcome to Exotic Gardening with me, Yorkshire Kris. I hope everybody's had a really nice, relaxing, peaceful Christmas break. We're currently in betwixtmas, between Christmas and New Year's, and I'm going to have a walk around the garden, talk again about what we've achieved in 2025, look forward to 2026, and actually, comment on the fact that it's still been mild. We've still got flowers in the garden. So actually, let's look at those flowers first before we have a look at the projects for the year ahead. So these Osteospermums are flowering in the front garden in a pot. They're doing really well. We've actually got lots and lots of buds here, quite a lot of flowers as well. And it's amazing to see them at this time of year. A bit of cheerful colour by the front door, so it's great to see those. And these aren't the only flowers that are performing at the front of the house. So just across, we've got this miracle Pelargonium. I call it miracle Pelargonium because it's been flowering and it's been growing through 2 winters now. Still got the green leaves. And there we've got the little flowers there, still blooming away. It's been blooming away for, 18 months? More than that now. Summer 2024, 2025. And it's still growing through the winter. It's seen a few frosts, but look, that foliage is still looking fantastic. And we've got some nice winter blooms. And not exotic at all, but we have these little seed-grown violas by the front door. Again, a bit of winter colour by the front of the house. Also blooming, but in the back garden now, is this salvia, and this is Salvia Honey Melon. Really bright, vivid red flowers standing out in the gloom that we have in winter. This is still flowering away, still got the foliage. And this shows you how mild the winter's been so far, because this should have been completely blackened off by now, because it is not one of the hardier salvias. This is a pretty tender one, but it survived last winter, just came back strongly in 2025, and so far it's getting through. And it'll be in 2026 in a matter of, a couple of days really. Got a couple of bits of dieback further up, but this is still blooming across the plant, which is great to see. Now down here is a clue to another plant that's flowering. And you can see all these little filaments and anthers down here on the weed suppressing membrane. And these have come from flowers that are blooming right above us. So if we look up, we've got this big eucalyptus gunny tree, huge, great big thing now, and that is in full bloom, but the flowers are quite high up. There's no branches lower than 3 meters, so the nearest flowers are these just over here, which you can't see silhouetted against the sky, but trust me, there's lots and lots of flowers all over this, and the bees really enjoyed this. So if it's a bit warmer, a bit sunnier, we'll probably see some bees out on this, and I have seen butterflies as well. So that is another plant that's flowering in the garden. So now we've seen things flowering, I just want to show you a few more things that are doing particularly well, surprisingly well, because of the cold we've had, or lack of cold should I say. Here we've got the Tradescantia. Look at all this, still in foliage here. This should have been cut back to the ground, but look at it, grown as a houseplant by many, but it's still looking beautiful in the garden. As I keep mentioning, it's another very dark, dreary day. It's not raining today, it's dark and dreary. Boxing Day was nice and sunny, but I didn't get out on Boxing Day, but I'm out today. And every other day has been pretty dreary like this. We've also got over there, we've got some tobacco plants that have actually germinated in autumn and grown over winter, and they've been eaten by some winter moth caterpillars, I think. You can see just over there. And over here, we've actually got some Aeoniums, or Symponium in this case, and this has not been blackened off because we've not had any proper frost yet. Yes, we did get a -2, but it was short-lived. So they're still looking good. We've got another one under here. I actually put a shelter over it. This is a different Aeonium. You can just see through there. So that's looking good as well. And I did a winter tour, so I won't go through everything. Just thought I'd show you a few surprising plants that are still looking good. And I'll show you a project I've been working on. You've noticed I've been crunching along this path. And now this path goes all the way around. So I've finally finished this part. So you can see here, we've got the new path curving round. We've got this new planting area, which I'm excited to plant up. Not a huge area, but it's an opportunity to plant some more plants here. So I will be sharing what I'm planting here in upcoming videos. On the right hand side, that's where we had the contrast between the arid plants and the colocasias. And the colocasias, you know, we've still got leaves on a few, like that one there. A lot have been obviously cut back here, but we've got leaves on a few of them. So they will survive, but I think some colocasias might be moved further down the garden where it's more moisture retentive. But back to the path, you can see the wooden decking's gone, and we've got this nice curved path here and the new planting area here, because all that was decking before, and now we've got a new planting area all over here. So again, here it's mainly shady in that corner and sun here, so we've got a nice area to work with. So we'll see what we plant in this area, and then we can continue round, and we've got the path going all the way around down the garden, and then you can see it disappears. We're going to follow it around with that huge bootia now. That's looking magnificent. And actually under the bootia, let's look down here, we've still got a plectranthus still in full leaf. So it's crazy to think that's got through 1.5 winters so far without dying off, which should be really a summer bedding plant. And then back to the path. This is something I'm really happy that I got completed this year. It was completely changing this part of the garden, because we moved most of the tree ferns over here, because we had a path running directly through here across there, and this was tree ferns down here, but we moved some tree ferns, we extended this path going down with the eucalyptus trees above us, and then the path at the moment ends here. And you're probably thinking, well, why have we ended the path like this? Well, it is a lot lower in this area. So the weed suppressing membrane down for a good 10 years. We had a play area down here and all sorts like that. But I'm going to connect this area with some sort of decking area with a bit of a shelter over the top, so like an end to the garden. So you come down the garden, you've got somewhere to go to. But it'll also continue the path across there, so it'll be a bit of decking that you walk on from the end of this path going across back to that path if you wish to go back down the garden. And it will also be a seating area here. We have a shelter over the top, so we don't have all the leaves and mess from the trees and the birds falling down on us while we sit down here. And we've got those really nice views we can look at over the fields down here. So look at all that space. Beautiful, big, open area just at the end of the garden and going down there. So that is the end of the garden, and I want to talk to you a little bit about what's coming up in 2026, because the main project will be doing the end part of the garden, but there is another part of the garden which we've got to crack on with first, and I've made a little start, so I'll show you that. Let's go over the bridge. I've got to show you the obligatory shot of the Jabea. There we go. Looking magnificent there, taking up a large part of the garden down there. But back to here, over the bridge. This is where things are changing. Got the gunnerer covered up there. We've got this big open area now. So this was the jungle area, lots of luxuriant summer bedding plants, soft leaf plants really, with the gingers and dahlias, etc. But now it's opened up, and you can see these aren't the final edging, but I've put these wooden posts down here to show you where the border will be on this side. And as we come across to this side this is where the border will be on this part of the garden. And then everything in the middle, including this big Hedychium patch here, all this will be a lawned area. So it really will open up this area. It'll become a family area once again, where we have open space where we can play ball games, etc. And it doesn't matter if we hit these robust plants around the edges, because they're very forgiving. Got the palms and scheffleras, etc. So they're fine to be bashed about a little bit. It will mean I've got lots of green in this part of the garden, so I will need to add a bit of understory planting with a bit of colour, but it will mainly be evergreen. As you can see, the edges of the garden look really good, even in the middle of winter. Hopefully spinning doesn't make you too dizzy. But there's one big problem. Yes, I've got the gingers, but we've also got this big Berinda 1046, beautiful blue bamboo. Really is stunning, but it's a beast. It's gone really tall. So this will be dug up, mentioned a few videos, and this will really open up this part of the garden. You can be able to see it from the house, because the lawn, even if I just do this part, you won't be able to see it from the house because of the big Berinda bamboo. So this will be dug up. I'll just show you the view from the window upstairs. You can see how it's blocking out the view towards what will be the new lawn area. So this will be cut down in 2 stages. So here, what I'll do is cut this down to about 2.5 meters, something manageable, because it doesn't need all this height when I transplant it, because it will be in root shock. So we'll be cutting down a lot of this growth. And on this bamboo, it's difficult because most of the foliage is high up. I've not done any side pruning really on this. It doesn't have many leaves low down, unlike most bamboos. So when I cut this to about this height here, all that foliage will be lost, and we won't have much foliage to work with. But it will regenerate new culms next year, probably small and thinner because it'll be dug up and cut back without much foliage, but it will regenerate and regrow over the next 3 to 5 years when it's transplanted and potted up. But it will really open up this space. And if I just come round and walk backwards as I talk, you can see from this point from the garden, you can see how it really blocks this part of the garden. But when I remove that, this will open up into a big oval lawn area. Not certain what I'll do with this area, which is currently a mess here. Probably keep it as a wood chip for now, and then it'll go into a lawned area. But I've got to get my edges right. I've got to be able to get the border at the right levels, because everything's raised up. You can see here how we're a good 10-15 centimetres of soil from this ground level up to where the bamboo's grown. So I need to rake all this across and level all this area, dig up this big bamboo and make good. So that's a plan for 2026. And also we've still got loads of plants here which will be selling at the open day next year, or 2026. Some nice hardy evergreen plants, as well as some more tender plants as well. And if we just go down here, down the side of the house, to show you, we've still got some Iracine, believe it or not, in leaf, even though we've had a few frosts. We've got these massive sleepers that I dug up. So these were part of the paths we had down the garden where the gravel is now. These big chunky ones here, we will use them for some projects. I'm thinking possibly using as a raised border to go along that wall there to get a bit of privacy here, and made a secluded spot in this area, nice seating area. So I'll probably use them as staging for some large troughs to go and plant a screen over there. So these won't be sold or thrown away. They're really good nick. I mean, these are over 10-12 years old, and they've got no rot whatsoever, which is completely different from the other set, which were further down the garden, which were quite rotten in places. So I'll be reusing them. That's another project I'll be getting on with pretty soon, to be honest. So that's where we are. That's where we are at the end of 2025. looking forward to 2026, and we have lots of seeds coming. I'll be planting lots of new plants all over the garden. It's pretty much a reset because I've changed so much in terms of landscaping, and will continue to do so. So we've got plenty of planting areas that we've created further down the garden. Lots of projects to finish, lots to be doing this year in 2026. So I'm very excited about really changing up the garden, making it different, revitalising it, reinvigorating it, and keeping it as a good tropical, exotic, desert-style garden. So thank you for watching this edition of Exotic Garden UK. Join me next week where we will be doing more in the garden.